It's been a while since I did a subclass video. I'll be taking a look at the just released path of the Giant subclass. Bigby presents Glory of the Giants introduces what is most likely the last official 5th edition subclass before the update happens in 2024. We will be diving into the subclass features to see if this subclass is a giant flop or a huge success. And as always, I will provide some ideas on how to reflavor the subclass and some character ideas for the subclass for each of the official 5th edition settings. Jumping right into it, we kick things off with our first 3rd level feature, Giant's Power. Giant's Power is a straightforward roleplay focused feature that will give you a little bit of that giant flavor. Our character gains the ability to speak, read, and write the giant language, and we can pick up the Druid Craft or Thaumaturgy cantrip. Wisdom is a spellcasting bonus for either of these spells that we choose. The cantrips are not viable in combat since we cannot cast spells while raging. Still, these are solid to have on hand during social and exploration encounters. No matter if we choose Druid Craft or Thaumaturgy, our Barbarian characters will have a bit more of an angle to play outside of combat, which is nice since the class tends to be focused on combat. Druid Craft taps into the elemental nature of most giants, while Thaumaturgy represents their inherent magical nature. Our next feature at 3rd level is Giant's Havoc. When entering Rage, we can add a range damage bonus to range attacks made with a thrown weapon that uses strength, our size increases to large, and we increase our reach by 5 feet. Being able to add a rage damage bonus to thrown weapons made with strength has been a requested change for the core class for some time, and is a common homebrew change. Wizards of the Coast is acknowledging this with a subclass, but it may feel like a lackluster trait if your table already allows barbarians to add their rage bonus to thrown weapon attacks. We can double down on the thrown weapon damage by taking the fighting initiate feat and picking the thrown weapon fighting style to add an additional 2 damage to our thrown weapon attacks. The size change and additional reach are really the core of this feature. When our character increases to large size, it gives us the option to grapple creatures that are huge size, which will be at advantage due to rage. This is incredibly cinematic and will make you feel like a giant as you grow in size and play out those kaiju battles against enemy giants, dragons, or any other big monster. The additional reach is potent, especially when paired with a polearm with an increased reach, and becomes even scarier if you choose the Bugbear species option for their increased reach trait as well. A polearm wielding Giant Barbarian Bugbear can make attacks with a 20-foot range. The increased character size and reach make this subclass a viable area control tank by either grappling the biggest target there and wailing on them, or pairing the subclass with the mentioned reach enhancing character options and the Polearm Master and Sentinel Feat combo. At 6th level, our range capability improves with Elemental Cleaver. This feature draws inspiration from Thor and the most recent God of War entries. When we rage, we can take any weapon we are wielding and power with our choice of acid, cold, fire, thunder, or lightning damage types, give it the thrown weapon property with a normal range of 20 feet and a long range of 60 feet, and have it return to us after making a ranged weapon attack. Give it the thrown weapon property with a normal range of 20 feet and a long range of 60 feet, and have it return to us after making a ranged weapon attack. This has got to be one of my favorite class features in all of 5e. It makes me wish there was an entire subclass built around this, and that is exactly my problem with this feature. This should be a star feature in a subclass. Coming in at 6th level for the Barbarian is a bit too late. The additional damage is fine, and being able to turn any weapon you're wielding into a short-range thrown weapon is solid, but the feature is so evocative that you'll be wanting to infuse your weapon with elemental power and chuck it at enemies much earlier. The other issue I have with this feature is that it doesn't really feel like it draws inspiration from giants. While giants in D&D are tied to elements, the Mjolnir inspiration feels out of place even though it's pretty damn cool. Also, I don't understand why Wizards of the Coast insists on slapping acid damage to elemental giant abilities, because the last time I checked, there are no official acid giants in 5e. This brings me to the 10th level feature, Mighty Impel, which is equally exciting and cinematic as Elemental Cleaver. As a bonus action, while we are raging, we can choose a medium or smaller creature within reach and move it to an unoccupied space we can see within 30 feet of us. Unwilling creatures must succeed on a strength saving throw in order to avoid the effect, and if a creature is moved to a space that doesn't have a surface or liquid to support it, they fall and take damage as usual. This feature offers a lot of control on the battlefield. We can toss an enemy 30 feet up in the air to have them take fall damage and fall prone, giving our allies advantage on their attacks against it. We can reposition an enemy or an ally as well. Mighty Impel adds to the area control tank playstyle hinted at with Giant's Havoc, but doesn't benefit from the additional damage provided by Giant's Havoc or Elemental Cleaver. There are 2 other downsides for this feature. First, we won't be able to start chucking our enemies until the turn after we rage. The second is that we might not be able to do this on our turn at all if we need to change the damage type of the bonus provided by Elemental Cleaver, since they both share a bonus action. I wouldn't consider the shared bonus action a major drawback, but is something that could pop up in rare instances. Mighty Impel is thematic and fun, but just like Elemental Cleaver, it should be something we can do at earlier levels. The last subclass feature is Demiurgic Colossus, which is a power increase to all of our subclass features. Our reach increases to 10 feet, we can grow up to the huge size, we can now move creatures that are large or smaller with Mighty Impel, and Elemental Cleaver now does an additional 2d6 damage. The feature isn't exciting, but the enhancements to each feature needed to be placed somewhere to keep the subclass's kit viable in later levels. Before getting to the reflavor ideas, we need to pay some bills. This video is sponsored by Skyzephyrs. Skyzephyrs is a third-party 5th edition product that aims to bring players ship and aerial combat rules that complements but does not bog down 5e combat. No matter if you're flying the skies of EBERRON in your airship or cruising the astral sea in your spelljamming ship, Skyzephyrs will bring new ships and monsters to have your players pilot or fight against. Hit the affiliate link in the description below to kickstart and get your copy today. Jumping right back into it, here are 3 non-giant character ideas for you if you want to take the giant out of this barbarian subclass. The first idea is taken straight from Final Fantasy 16. We can lean into the elemental abilities that come in at 6th level with Elemental Cleaver and become an icon. We can flavor our size increase from Giant's Havoc as taking on a new physical form like many of the ones featured in Final Fantasy 16. And just like Clive in the game, depending on which element we choose with Elemental Cleaver, those forms can change to match. We can become Ifrit when choosing fire or Rama when choosing lightning. The next idea takes inspiration from Marvel Comics by taking a fantasy spin on the Incredible Hulk. We can flavor the path of the Giant subclass as an ARCANE created Hulk. Our character could have been caught in an ARCANE accident or experimented on by an evil wizard, or they did this to themselves to cause their powers. The size change from Giant's Havoc can literally be us transforming into a Hulk. Just like in the comics, our Hulk can have a different personality and appearance based on which elemental damage type we choose with Elemental Cleaver. The last idea is to have the subclass draw its power from the Feywild instead of their giant ancestry. The size change from Giant's Havoc could be caused by cartoonish shape-changing Fey magic. Elemental Cleaver's damage types options could just be like the Eladrin's personality change trait that is tied to the various season-influenced courts of the Feywild. Changing the damage type to fire could mean we are drawing on the magic of the Summer Court, or if we choose cold, that is us imbuing our weapon with the power of the Winter Court. We can double down on the weapon damage type swapping by having it change our appearance to correspond to the Fey courts we are drawing our powers from. I'm interested to know about your Giant Barbarian character, so share them with me in the comments, and while you're at it, hit that like button because every little bit helps the channel. Now getting back into it, here are more character ideas for the path of the Giant Barbarian for each of the official 5th edition settings. In the Forgotten Realms, we could play a banished Goliath from a tribe settled in the spine of the world, who channels their connection to their giant ancestors to win the favor of their people so they can return home. In EBERRON, we could be an archaeologist who was sent to uncover secrets of the giants in the ruins of Zendrick by one of the dragon-marked houses. During an expedition, they came into contact with an artifact that infused them with giant magic. Now they use their newfound abilities to further explore the world while running away from the dragon-marked house, who come to collect on what they feel like they are owed. At Ravnica, we can be a member of the Gruul who is a believer in the old ways. You empower yourself with the elemental spirits to defend the natural wonders of Ravnica from the ever-expanding city. In Theros, we are a hero looking to take revenge on the gods for their constant meddling with mortal lives. Imbued with the power of the Lost Titans, they travel throughout Theros, overcoming challenges the gods throw their way on their path of revenge. And at Strixhaven, we can be a student of Prismari who uses their artistic elemental abilities as an athlete. They can be a promising rookie in the Gave of Mage Tower who shapes the elements around them to dominate the opposing team. Now getting into my overall thoughts regarding the subclass, I think the path of the Giant Barbarian has a lot of great ideas with its features, but they aren't exactly as cohesive as they could be. Giant's Havoc signals building a character as an area control tank to take advantage of the additional reach. Mighty Impel adds to this area control playstyle, allowing us to reposition enemies and allies, but doesn't benefit from the damage bonuses provided by Giant's Havoc or Elemental Cleaver because we aren't throwing weapons with this feature, we're throwing monsters. Also, we received this feature a bit too late for something that seems fun and enhances our playstyle. Elemental Cleaver also suffers from this cohesion issue. While the feature provides additional damage on top of the damage bonus provided by Giant's Havoc and Rage, it doesn't add to the playstyle of the subclass. And I have to mention again, Elemental Cleaver should be the basis of its own subclass because of just how cinematic and fun it is. As the last official subclass of 5th edition before the 2024 update, I don't think this subclass is a complete flop. The mechanics are fun and lean heavy on thematics at the cost of a cohesive playstyle. If you're wanting a barbarian subclass with a defined playstyle, I suggest the Ancestral Guardian subclass instead. The Path of the Giant is not a subclass that will be game-breaking, but it also isn't something that will feel lackluster. It's just okay. With that said, if you want to check out the rest of the player options found in Bigby's Glory of the Giants, Eric over at Fire Minis is back with some great coverage of the book. I have links to his videos in the description, so pop on over and show him some love. And as always, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, character builds, or want to hang out with me during the weekly live streams where I design my own 5e third-party content, consider hitting that subscribe button. Alright, I'm out of here. Have a good one.